Hello everyone and welcome to another Thomas video. So today we're taking a look at Eldrazi ramp deck in Thomas Format. So yesterday we tried this card called Petrified Hamlet. I was actually fairly impressed with the card, and we're going to be incorporating to the Eldrazi here. And basically, this card, Petrified Hamlet, is going to be our saving grace into ramping to our 7 drops here. Because when this card enters the battlefield, you can name Strip Bind so that you can protect our most important cards in the deck, such as Ancient Tomb and Eldrazi Temple, so that you can safely ramp into our 7 drops in the deck. So Eldrazi's have been historically pretty good against blue decks just because of the nature of on-cast effects, but we're also going to be going on the extreme side by including 4 copies of Cavern of Souls, which makes our Eldrazi uncounterable, but we also play 3 copies of Vexing Bauble in the main, making Dazes and Force of Will basically impossible. And we also have 3 copies of Chalice of the Void in the main deck as well to stop all these CMC1 shenanigans. So I'm hoping the Petrified Hamlet is as good as I think it is in this deck. So having said that, I'm going to be hopping over to some Thomas vs 3 to show you guys what the deck does. So let's hop over. Alright, let's take a look at Eldrazi today. It's probably a mulligan. Probably. And this is probably a keep. Alright. Eldrazi, Vexing Bauble. Into a Ragavan. Maybe I should have actually Cossacks commanded? What do you guys think? Should I have Cossacks commanded? Oh, that would have been such a sick card to get there. I mean, the thing is, like, the longer I hold off on this Cossacks command, like, doesn't it become better? Right? And I can use the Cossacks command on the Hydroponics Architect since we have the Vexing Bubble down already. So they want to hide something. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not even sure if I exile anything with this card. Maybe just make a bunch of spawns and then draw a card. Take away the lightning bolt, right? Ba-ba-ba. They still attack. They must have a top under lightning bolt. It's gonna be a tough game. Alright, do I exile? I think I scry, right? Yeah, I think I scry. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we just get this down and win the game, right? Just to be clear, I guess we can top an Eldrazi Temple if they strip mine. I don't see how we can lose with the Sire 7 Death. Like at most, they're gonna play like one copy of Yeah, I think this game is over. Maybe I shouldn't have topped the Thought Nuts here. Yeah, potentially I shouldn't have topped the Thought Nuts here. They should have attacked first. Into Treasure Cruise. I mean, I guess what they can do is like... Nah, I don't think there's a single card that gets them out of this. I just don't see it. This thing has a Vigilance and Menace and First Strike. Like, I don't think there's a single card. What a card, by the way. Also, if they play like 2 cards on the Sire 7 desk, they die too because of the ward pay 7. Alrighty. Attack. I guess get rid of... Ponder? I think I should be able to just top a Vexing Bauble now. Yeah, they're just dead. Alright. So I do wonder if they play Magus. That's like the only card that I'm kind of worried about. Besides that, I think that Donna Seer is probably bad. Donna Seer is probably bad. Potentially, Hearse is good. Potentially. But I'm not sure. Let's go. Right, so we got a Petrified Hamlet. I just need 1 land. I think this hand is really good. Call a Strip Mine with the Petrified Hamlet and then dismember this first card. Okay, so they have a daze. Regrettable. Now, Kozilek's command here. Ah, they have it again. Seems like this is a go next situation. Two counter spells will probably do. That's just way too many. Way too many. Okay, so we got a Vexing Bubble this time. Okay, they have a counter spell immediately. A Force Negation. I'm hoping we draw like an Ancient Tomb or Eldrazi Temple. Yeah, I'm hoping we draw one of those. Okay, that's a lot. We drew none of those. That's not good. $25 lands with 3 copies of Talisman of Curiosity. Okay, so now we have a Kozilek's command. Should we play the Glaring Fleshraker first? If they somehow get this off, I'm dead though. Okay. So let's see. We are going to scry and exile a creature. Oh, I could have actually done one more. I'm dumb. Okay, that's what we wanted to see. Eldrazi. So we can potentially do it again. And then wait for Sowing Mycospawn for the next turn, and then we Kozilek's command here. That's probably better. Take less damage. We can even potentially exile their graveyard and then make opponent attack. And then we eat both of the Dragonry Channelers. Okay, never mind, they treasure cruised. I mean, I can do it. Chain lightninged. I might still do it anyways because I need to live, basically. So, artifact, creature, sorcery. And then we'll play Sowing Myco Spawn, blow up the Steam Vent. I could Glaring Fleshraker first. What can I get with the Sowing Myco Spawn? Not much, right? So I'll play the Fleshraker into Unlicensed Hearse, actually. We actually need to draw a threat, by the way. Like, we have a lot of mana, but we need to draw a threat. Maybe I should have brought Battle Mage, I guess. Why are they doing it like this? Take 6 damage here. Uh-oh. Another Fleshraker. Does this do anything, by the way? I think I'd rather have Eldrazi spawns. At this point. Nice! We actually won! Alright. We do have a Petrified Hamlet, but we don't have any, like, fast lands. And this time around, we have only 1 land. Oh, that's so unlucky. It's a 25 land deck, you know? Should I try keeping it still? That's a little bit unlucky, isn't it? Oh wow, Eldrazi mirror. You see, don't tell anybody that there is no deck-based matchmaking in this format. Because there certainly is. There definitely is. All right. Let's try not mulliganing our entire hand. How good is this card? I don't know. There's actually not any cars to bring in there, so okay. Hand looks a little bit better. Definitely. So we do want a Sowing Micro spawn, right? We start with the Talisman. Bravo. So disgusting. So disgusting. Let's play nothing but strip mines and do nothing. Don't you just love that? This is actually a pretty nice card. I hadn't really thought about that. Uggin's Lab. They're trying to play... Despite having a strip mine, they still play it? So I can get an Ancient Tomb with this thing? Or I could play this? Yeah. Let's get an Ancient Tomb. Or another Eldrazi's Temple, I guess. Yeah, let's actually get another Eldrazi Temple. Mind Stone. Then we can Battle Mage that thing. All right. Let's do that again. Exile a target creature with a power 1 or less. Again. I do want to keep this thing because I have a Sire. If so, I probably want to put this away, even though it's a great card. I need to get like an Ancient Tomb or Eldrazi Temple. Right? I don't see any of those. This is bad. This is really, really bad, isn't it? I wonder how they can even fit that in. Library, huh? Does that mean they're not playing Sowing Microspawn? If that's the case, it's like, it feels kind of wrong. Yeah, they're not playing Sowing Microspawn. Which is like... Which looks really, really weird. I had to call Strip Mine because I don't really have like... Otherwise, I'm gonna lose to opponent top decking a Strip Mine. So... that had to be done. But opponent is drawing a lot of cards, so we might lose still. But we got the Glittering Fleshraker down first, so that's a start. Darn, they had a Kozak. Opponent had a Kozak there. Does it say leave? It says die. So I have to play this. I hope I draw land for the Sire. I think that's how we're gonna win this game. We're gonna need to draw land and win the game. Oh, what a... Oh, that sucks, man. That would have been it, man. That would have been it. That was how we're gonna win there. Darn, that sucks, man. Why are they playing this, by the way? Hey, where's my Kazakh's command? Right, where's our Kazakh's command? What do we even call with this thing? Wow. What even is going on there? So we actually could have won had we dropped the Sire of 7 Deaths there, but we didn't. We didn't there. I think we're dead. Oh, that's a card.
Knowledge. There is clarity at the center of insight.
Okay, maybe we have a... Maybe we can win. It's gonna be pretty tough, I'm not gonna lie, but... Yeah, it could happen. We have an Ugin down first, so... We are ultimating first. This is such a weird game. This is such a weird game. So if they drew another Glaring Fleshraker, I would die if I don't block like this. But I don't know, at this point, I think we have to kind of chance it. Yeah, I think we had to kind of chance it there. Although opponent does get the Ugin down now. Sure. Opponent goes to 2? Hold up! Oh no, they gain life. Wait a minute!
Your mind to possibility.
Oh no, no. I don't think it works. Glaring Fleshraker. Kazakh's command. I only have... So I have 3 mana left over. And then I... add 3? That only creates 4. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, create a 0/1 creature Wait, but that's gonna create 5. Hold up.
My resources are yours.
It creates exactly 5, right?
Mana courses through all the...
Oh no, we actually had way more damage. Even with the Dawn Knots here as well. How did we win? I don't even understand this game. Okay, I don't understand. I actually don't understand how this is even possible. I'm seeing so many like turn 1 starts with like only 1 land. I mean, I can't keep this, right? This hand is also kinda meh. Meh meh meh. Trip mine. Oh, right. Okay, opponent didn't want to fetch, so... Blooded Strand is dead. I'm kind of hoping opponent doesn't counter this. Wow, they countered that. I was hoping they didn't. Yeah, I was kind of hoping they didn't. Alright, we're gonna have to get some better lands here than these. Or like any Eldrazi or colorless spell. Like I just need anything, right? I need anything and then we can play this card out. Kind of my goal here. Oh no. I don't think we're gonna be able to get here. We drew so bad. We just needed any Eldrazi that we can play, or like a Temple or Ancient Tomb, so that we can get these out, but I don't think there's time. That's unfortunate. Yeah, we drew so bad. We actually drew way too bad here. Unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Just drew so bad. Like, what is this? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Can you believe it? We didn't do anything until turn 7. I actually can't believe it. We absolutely didn't do anything. That's kind of crazy. Like, not to mention, we didn't drew 8 of our soul lands. We just basically drew nothing. I mean, this game's over. Talk about luck. Alright, let's try that again, except let's not get unlucky like that. It was very smart of them to counter that. I might go Petrified Hamlet. Nah, let's just play this out. So it's a daze. Ah, I should have taken it out. Oh my god. I should have just played it. Like, I knew I had to, but then I didn't, like an idiot. Well, now we can play around the days now. Yeah, we'll just play around the days here. Since the opponent didn't have a force of will. On turn 1, that is. Nice. Let's do that again. Honestly, that first game was so unlucky. Drew 0 soul lands and 0 colorless cards. Very, very unlucky. That plays around days. Had to take, you know, 2 damage though. Hmm.
I hope you don't mind if I take notes. Respect the library.
Hydroponics. Yep. So let's take away a source of plowshare. What am I saying? I'll just play another one.
Use your words.
Wait, you're gonna attack? You're not gonna protect the Tamio? That's kind of crazy. I thought for sure they were gonna protect the Tameo there. Prismatic Ending, definitely annoying. They can get rid of a Vexing Bauble here, but I think I might go get rid of like a Tameo. Because getting rid of the Tameo, they don't have a blocker for that Tameo. So maybe it's actually worth it. What to do?
Words can't fix everything.
I'll play another Vexing Bubble. So, we're gonna need to see like a Cosmos command. Oh, they found the source of Plowshare.
I am not defenseless.
That's very nice, actually. Let's get rid of a Hallowed Fountain. Okay, Eldrazi! Kinda cooking here. Right, so we took a look at Eldrazi today, and then we went 4-0 with the deck, crushing every tempo deck that we saw, and somehow managed to queue up against another Eldrazi opponent. I didn't think that we would be getting matched up against an Eldrazi, honestly, but we have. That's definitely abnormal. So, couple things to mention. Why the Eldrazi works now. I did already explain this in the intro, but the Vexing Bubble, the reliance on Dazes, Force of Will, the turn 1 Vexing Bubble is just so insane. Turns off most of their counter spells. But even if they do have a counter spell, it's not like Eldrazi needs to worry about counter spells too much with the Cavern of Souls, but it does help cast things like Cosmos Command, things like that. So it is still helpful since Cosmos Command is a pretty important card, as well as an Ugin Eye of Storms. And it does also get your Chalice down without having to like worry about counter spells, whatnot. So that's also really good. But I think the MVP here is actually the Petrified Hamlet. The Eldrazi's have been kind of suffering from the strip mines on our Ancient Tomb and Eldrazi Temple. But the Petrified Hamlet being able to protect our soul lands is pretty humongous. So we are playing 3 copies of this. You could potentially play 4 copies of it, but it's really hard to play a utility land in this deck because you're playing things like Cavern of Souls, Eldrazi Temple, Ancient Tomb. We're also playing 3 copies of Strip Mine if we don't draw into Petrified Hamlet. Like for example, if you play against a non-Strip Mine deck, then you can also abuse the Strip Mine with the Sowing Mycospawn Spawn to blow up opponents' Ancient Tombs and stuff like that. Even though you're gonna be calling Strip Mine most of the times with the Petrified Hamlet, not playing a Strip Mine seemed a little bit wrong. So we are playing Strip Mines here, and we are playing Yavimaya. The reason why we are playing Yavimaya is because we don't have that many green sources. We have 2, and then we have 6, we have 9, 10, 11, and we have a Talisman of Curiosity to potentially get our Sowing Mycospawn Spawn online. I mean, you could be greedy here and then cut things like Yavimaya Coast or Forest here. But you gotta also think about the sideboard, right? We have 3 copies of Wastegate Battle Mage in the sideboard, which also uses green. And this is pretty important in getting rid of like enchantments, artifacts, things like that. So I'm kind of conflicted because I do also want some utility lands. Like for example, if you're playing Sowing Mycospawn Spawn, you could play something like a Bojuka Bog. Like you can easily play a copy of Bojuka Bog if you wanted to for the Sowing Mycospawn Spawn. Another card is a Sanctum of Ugin. tutor for a 7-drop. We also played against an Eldrazi opponent that was playing Library of Alexandria, but I don't think you can play this unless you're playing 4 copies of it, right? Which probably means you have to not play green. If you're going to be playing 4 copies of this, I don't think you have enough green sources for the Sowing Microspawn. So post sideboard, you cut like 2 copies of this, and all of a sudden your green sources become 14 copies of it. So you're replacing a bunch of these with green source lands. You're looking at like 10 or even 9 copies of green sources, and that's going to potentially make your Sowing Microspawn uncastable. Some things to keep in mind. But yeah, you know, Eldrazi with Petrified Hamlet. Now we can cast our 7-drops without too much of a hassle. We were able to cast Ugin. We were able to cast Sire of 7 Deaths. So yeah, there you have it. Eldrazi ramp, definitely possible in Timeless at the moment. That is going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye.